always say you have to have three things. First, sell a good product. Second, sell it honestly. And the third is follow up.
Ivan Herrera arrived from Cuba with nothing but debt and built a $1 billion brand in America.
When you landed in the US, what did you have to your name?
Nothing. Debt.
In corporate America, his accent was considered a weakness. In the sales world, it became a big strength.
Maybe if your English was any better or you didn't have any accent at all, you would still be in corporate America.
Oh, of course.
7 people and a dog in a 2-bedroom. Burned skin from a failed welding job and a car salesman job where he put everything on the line.
Give me the opportunity. If in 3 months I'm not doing well, you fire me.
And then came the bet of his life, buying a failing insurance office and turning it into one of the fastest growing insurance companies in America.
And they was not doing money, they had no customer, but I like the name of Univista because it sounds the same in English as in Spanish.
And with his exponential success also came very painful betrayal.
They tried to destroy my reputation, my business. And on top of that, the closest people that you have, they betray you. They start doing the wrong thing, steal money from you.
Today, why learning how to sell can change your life forever, and why the insurance policy of your success can only be underwritten by you.
Univista existe por usted y para usted.
Ivan Herrera, you came from Cuba with pretty much nothing.
Nothing, no, with debt.
With debt.
Yeah, debt.
And now there are people that say that your company, Univista Insurance, can be worth over $1 billion today. What was the force that drove and keeps driving you from nothing to the level of success that you have today?
I think that even that was something that I saw for myself and my family. To live in Cuba without nothing helped me a lot to get there. And that's what wake me up every single day to go there and do whatever I have to do in order to leave a legacy to my family, to my kids. They are always seeing me working. And sometimes you get criticized for that. And the same people that criticize you because of that, they are living out of what you invented.
Wow. The people that criticize you for working so hard, they're living off what you created.
Yeah, and they try to copy you after all.
They try to copy you while they say, oh, this guy works too hard.
Yeah, one day a person told me, a very close person to me, used to be, told me, the only place that you find the pleasure and the only place that you feel good is working. And you know what? I do a lot of things that give me pleasure and I feel happy and everything. But if he thinks that, that's good because he's living out of what I create right now, today, and his family. And that's sad to hear that, but at the end of the day, it's saddest to wake up every single day that you criticize somebody that help you, that put food in your table, that help your family, and on top of that, you betrayed that guy, you copied that guy, and right now he should be upset because not even copying me.
He's a bad copy. Ivan, there's a story when you were 15 years old. You were in Cuba. Both of your parents were dedicated to healthcare. And I know that there was an area in your house where your father would actually see people and try to help people. But I understand that at around 15 years old, you realized that there was something wrong with the country that you were growing up in.
I don't know where you heard that, but it's exactly like that. I was in my first year of the pre-universitary in Cuba, and I learned by myself that something in Cuba was wrong, because I saw people that they was not integrated to the society in Cuba. that they left the country. They came to United States. And by the way, Alberto, you are making me speak English in and it is to translate that. Miami is not helping us with the English.
Absolutely not helping us.
But
But let me interrupt you for a second, because what you're saying is very relevant. People use the language barrier as an excuse, and here you are.
yeah.
People use any excuse to say, I cannot make it.
But you know what? I'm going to give you a tip for that. I'm going to give you a tip for that because I suffer it myself. I used to work for a bank. I used to work for a hospital. I want to become a doctor in this country because I was a biology when I get from Cuba. And I worked for Miami-Dade County. And once you start working for these big companies with corporate America, you have a sign right here in your forehead that say you don't speak English. So your growing inside those companies very limited. But once you discover the sales and you go by yourself and you are yourself, treating the customers, the way that you develop yourself with the customer, the relation you do and everything, there is no limit on the sales business. So to be a good salesman, I always say you have to have three things. First, sell a good product. Second, sell it honestly. And the third is follow up. That's but the English never been a barrier. I love myself about my English because I came here grown. I came 23 years old. I was 23 years old. And it's hard in Miami to change the language, the accent that you speak with. I'm very proud of everything that I've been going through. That's a very good history, a very good journey to get here with all your limit and everything. It is sometimes you feel bad or you feel because your English is not like it should be, but at the end of the day, you accomplish. And the sales business is the best to get there.
That's interesting, because you know what you're telling me with that? That maybe if your English was any better or you didn't have any accent at all, you would still be in corporate America.
Oh, of course. and let me tell you, I saw them, and the last week I went to have lunch with one of the guys that used to work with me, and he's still doing the same. He's still doing the same in the same corporate and everything. And can you imagine? How
that would be interesting. That would be so interesting. I had never thought that limitation. We say, "Oh my God, they're not going to appreciate me in corporate America because my English is not great." Suddenly becomes a strength, and then it puts you out there.
But when you put the numbers, when you sell, when you drive people, when people look after you in order to sell, to do whatever you are doing, that the right way, and you say, "Hey, the English is not a limit and it's not a barrier anymore." So you want to go out there and get whatever you have to do for your family. And the sales move the world.
Sales moves the world. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm learning that myself now that I'm becoming independent after 19 years in corporate. Yeah. And I've realized that I have to sell no matter what it is that I do. Yeah. But let me take you back to Cuba. So you were 15, 16 years old. You're realizing that the country that you grew up in has something wrong. There's something here that doesn't make sense.
Because remember, when 1980 was this big exodus in Maria, and a lot of people that I used to live in my neighborhood, they left the country at that time. So they say that there was bad people, there was people that they was not integrated to the society, there was criminal, and you know what? By my age of 15, I was 7 years old. When 8 years after, the same people was coming to Cuba, and they was spending money. They had money. They was admired for everybody. They was the one that can rent a car, that can go on vacation, can pay their family to have food on the table.
The ones that were coming from the outside,
United States,
the US,
yeah.
into Cuba, suddenly they had all of these things that you never had.
Of course, and I say, I'm studying. My parents are doctors. They are integrated to the society. They are not problematic people here. And sometimes, and it is hard to say, we didn't have a food on the table for us. You know, and one day I wake up and I say, there's something wrong in this society, in this government. And I start trying, I start feeling bad inside Cuba, and my dream was to get out of Cuba.
Now, when you try to get out of Cuba, you made a very, very difficult first attempt. And we know that, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how people risk their lives trying to get on a homemade raft, very unsafe, with a lot of people, and thousands have died trying to do that. Yeah. And you tried doing that, but it didn't work.
No, it didn't. Fortunately, that it didn't work. Thanks God, the engines, the propeller that we found here, and you learn that when you get to this country, some yachts, some boats, they have two engines. One have a propeller that goes like this, clockwise, and the other against the clock. So we put the wrong propeller, and that boat was backward.
The boat was going backwards.
Backward, yeah. I wanted to come here backward because I left everything on that trip. I put every single penny that I had saved on that trip. I told Anya bye-bye, and my wife, my only wife. I was gonna say my actual wife, and I told, I was in university. I was in second year of university, and I was gonna lose the university because if you try to escape the country, you cannot be in Cuba University. So we got caught trying to come here. They destroyed the raft that we built. They destroyed everything that we had, and we escaped. And my father told me, listen, I don't want to lose a son on the sea. I promise you that we are going to leave the country together. So I have my grandfather that is with God today. Last week, he died last week.
I'm sorry to hear.
No, that's okay. And for me, he was a political prisoner. We applied for that visa, and we came here in July 9, 1996.
Starting something on your own can feel very overwhelming, especially if you're not sure where to begin. You have the drive, the dream, but no roadmap. That's exactly why Univista Franchise exists. It's not just a proven business. It's a system that already helps hundreds of people start successful insurance agencies across the country. With over 260 locations, Univista gives you a turnkey model. That means the brand, the training, the support, the technology, it's already built. So you just bring your ambition. You don't need to be an insurance expert. You don't even need prior experience. They'll guide you every step of the way, from launch to long-term growth. Many franchisees have even grown into having multiple offices, and the startup costs lower than you'd expect for something this solid. I've known Univista's president, Ivan Herrera, for years, and I've seen lives change through this model. So visit univistafranchise.com to explore if this could be your next move. Seriously, univistafranchise.com. This could be the opportunity you've been waiting for. July 9th, 1996. You managed to actually get on a plane and you came into
Mexico.
Yeah, we
went to Mexico. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then because there was not direct flight to the United States, and then from Mexico we came here.
When you landed in the US, what did you have to your name?
Nothing. Debt.
You had debt?
Yeah, because...
How do you have debt from Cuba when you...
No, because the Catholic Conference is an organization that I really appreciate, and every time that I can donate some money to them, I do it. They lend us the money to buy the ticket to come over here, and the visa and all the... Yeah.
So you owed them money when you arrived?
Yeah, but we paid them.
And you did pay them?
Yeah, we paid them.
Wow. And you lived in this... It's a 2-bedroom apartment, 6 people. Describe a little bit. 7 people.
7 and 1 dog.
7 and a dog.
And 1 dog. Yeah.
What was that setup like?
Well, it was like, we used to live together and convive together, and we didn't see each other because we was working. At the end, at the beginning, it was just myself, but little by little, everybody incorporate to work. I was working since I came from Cuba. The first day next day I went to work with the same clothes that I brought from Cuba, and I didn't stop.
Wow. You were picking up debris from construction. You work at a bank overnight.
You know about me more.
I mean, we've known each other for a long time, and then there's the welding.
Oh yeah, yeah, the welding. Yeah, you know.
You tried a welding job, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, Alberto, I was working in construction, and I used to work in Cuba. I used to do a lot of things in Cuba, but not. I built a house myself and with my family in a beach. I used to work. I like to work. Look at my hands, you know. But I was working in construction, and that's hard, man. I was working with illegal immigrants, and I was one more of them because I didn't have documents. So one day, a guy, a relative, I don't know, he came to visit us. You know that when you come, it was like for 2 or 3 months already here in the country, and he came to visit us at night, and he told me, "No, I'm a supervisor in a welding company. They do seats for beaches. They do welding and structure for boats, aluminum." So he told me, "Do you know how to weld?" I thought, I used to do that in Cuba. I had never had, but you know. And he told me, "Well, I wait for you on Saturday. Go there. We are gonna practice. I'm gonna do a test to you." So I started learning about welding. I had like 3 or 4 days to learn. I called some of my friends that used to weld, but it was aluminum. In Cuba, I never saw that kind of welding. Of course, it exists, but I never saw that in my town. So I was with a teacher that I brought from Cuba that had some straps on the teacher, and everybody was with a leather thing in front and welding. There was very hot inside that warehouse. No AC, extractors, vents.
And everybody had some sort of protection?
All of them, yeah.
And you had no protection?
No protection. So I started practicing and doing that, and they offered me, and I was, with that, it's going to be hardest with me. So I was like for 4 hours welding, and no protection, no nothing. So when I get home, I was red, and Anya told me, "You was on the beach." Anya, I was not on the beach. You are sunburned. No, it was not the sun. Maybe the reflection of the welding. So when I took out my shirt, my skin went with the
stripes of the shirt.
With the stripe of the shirt.
No.
The darker one stayed there, and the one where the reflection of the welding get in my skin, it was the worst part. So I was with burning very hard, and it was for 2 or 3 weeks on a bedroom. In
not being able to work?
I didn't. I lose my job on the construction. I didn't get this one, and at the end of the day, I was. And that's now we laugh, but the beginning, all the beginnings are very hard.
We're laughing about it, but what does that tell a young person? Because I know one of the things that you have done is you have said yes a lot, and you have taken a lot of risks. Do you feel that the new generation is taking enough risks?
No. I see that. Let me tell you, I have I cannot ask God more for my kids, my family, but I think that sometimes it's good to go through a process where life hit you, so you can stand up, you can fight life back, and be yourself, and at the end come out as a winner. So And sometimes I think that we as parents, we procreate or we try, our kids don't go through all the process. Of course, mine was super hard. Mine was sometimes I think that, God guide you for some ways that is not going to give you a cross that you cannot hold in your back.
God is not going to give you a cross that you cannot hold in your back.
And that's my life. But I think that those hard times are made me the man that I'm today. I cannot tell you how the young generation are going to come or are going to, but I think that sometimes the human being need to go through some process that make you the man that you are today.
Talk about that process. No success in welding, never trying welding again, but then you go to a car dealership.
Yes.
You see everybody dressed very elegantly, and you realize that there's got to be some money there.
Yeah.
And you had no car dealer experience. You ask for an opportunity, and you become a top salesman for years in that car delership. How do you get an opportunity like that? And how do you become so good at something you know nothing about?
I think the only thing that at that time I had one son. And when you have a son, your life changed. So we had a house that we came here in 1996, 1998. We bought a house, and in 1999, I started selling cars. 4 months after, my son came to this world, my first son, John, and now he worked with me. And I was a different person. I had to make it happen. I got an interview for the first management that was in the dealership, and I started telling them my education, what I was doing, and they told me that I couldn't fit on a sales position. So next week, the owner of that dealership fired everybody there. So I went to apply again. And Mike Rodriguez, he's a very good friend of mine, he told me, listen, I told him, listen, I'm not going to tell you what I study, what I'm doing. Give me the opportunity. If in 3 months I'm not doing well, you fire me. So that was the agreement between him and me. We shake hands, and I was the top producer for the next 4 years.
What sounds to me like is a lot of people maybe graduating from college now, they're very focused on their resume. They're trying to make it as long as they can because maybe it's not too long. They're trying to put every experience, every conference, everything they did. And suddenly you don't make it on the first week with your resume. You make it the following week by saying, I know nothing about this, but give me an opportunity.
Yes. I think, Alberto, I received resume from Harvard, resume from a lot of universities that sometimes I don't even know how I'm going to interview that person. And I think for me, the desire to have success, the discipline, the constant learning, it was more than a career. I learned that here because if I didn't find the sales word on that dealership, maybe I was a doctor or I was something else, but it's fascinating to sell.
You're basically obsessed with sales, and that's what has brought you the level of success that you currently have.
Alberto, every single person should be, because it doesn't matter what you do if you don't know how to sell yourself and your knowledge and your capability of the relation and everything, you are not gonna get success. Because if you are an attorney, you have to know. You don't have to be the smartest attorney, but you have to sell your knowledge and the capability of represent the customer to the judge, even to the customers, to everybody that believe in you as an attorney. If you are a doctor, it's the same thing. And at the end of the day, everybody's selling in the best sense of the word. is selling themselves every time.
Sales is everything. Sales is everything. So a big turning point in your life and your wife's, in Anya's life, was when you guys made a $40,000 decision. So a quick ask, if this episode is lighting a fire inside you, could you do me one small favor? Hit subscribe or follow right now. That one click is how we keep building this dream, getting bigger, bringing in voices you want to hear, and creating stories that stick. Thanks for being here, and let's keep going. Which was the decision of buying a tiny insurance office that was doing horrible.
Practically was the name, and we built the logo. It was they were doing horrible. I bought it for $40,000, and they was in debt for like 26. So I really paid debts at the closing, and they was not doing money. They had no customer. But I like the name of Univista because it sounds the same in English as in Spanish. So we put the colors of the American flag and the Cuban flag, the red, white, and blue. And I think that we had a dream at that time, and to be different, to do something different, not just for us, but for the customers, for the companies, and put a name out there where everybody can identify as a way of living, as a way of work, as a ethic, as a work ethic. And that's what we did.
Ivan, Univista Insurance back then, you buy it for $40,000. It had $20,000+ in debt. You buy that. It was doing horrible. You turn it into something that some people have said that is valuated at $1 billion. Have you ran into the original owners of Univista ever? Have you?
They are at that time. There was very young, 3 guys from Nicaragua, 2 brothers and another guy that used to work with them, relative to them. Sometime through the social media, they send me, congratulations, Ivan. I think they have today they have a very good career because they sold the agency to go to the university, and they was very smart guys. There was a sister and the other brothers, and I think they are doing great. I never asked, but they're doing great, and they are proud of the name that they create too.
Ivan, I spoke with Anya, your wife, because I wanted to understand a couple of things about your story, and she told me that right after buying Univista, what happened? Was there something with the bank that kind of like recalled a debt, and suddenly like you were in debt again? Was there something there?
There was, when you are an entrepreneur and you go through a lot of things, there was a time where you trust somebody and you believe on the financial institutions. And sometimes you have to be very careful with who you do business. There was a big bank that I had, at the beginning, I started the business. I had money in the bank. I had all my credit card pay off, and I had some properties because remember, I was selling cars. I was very successful selling cars. I was making over $150,000 selling cars every year. So I saved money. I bought some properties, then I went to do real estate. I was doing great too. And then I started this business with money in the bank, with 0 debt. All my property was paid off. And 2 years after, I had everything had a loan. Every single property had a loan. No money in the bank, and all the credit cards was full. So wow. I was believing in a dream. And either you have success or your family is going to
suffer from it.
Yeah, suffer from that. So,
but that suddenly you were perfectly healthy financially, and suddenly some loans had to be paid. The situation changed.
Yeah,
and suddenly you saw yourself with credit card debt and tight again.
No, and with employee that you had to pay. I remember the last time that we was in that situation. Me and Anya, I sit down, Anya, in my computer with me. I told her, let's apply for a credit card. You and me, because we don't have money in the bank and we need to pay to the employees. And there is a payroll that was coming and we didn't have the money. So we applied for a credit card $17,000 I get, $17,000 credit she got. What $34,000 we pass our credit cards through the business and we pay the employees.
You got into credit card debt to comply and pay the employees.
Yes. I'm not, it's not a shame to say that. I'm proud of.
But I'm only wondering how many people actually do that. Not too many.
No, yeah, but as an entrepreneur, you're gonna find those stories because everybody see the success, everybody see the good stuff, and everybody see you as an example. And it's not bad, but at the end of the day, when you are an entrepreneur, you're gonna go to struggling, you're gonna go to bad situation, you're gonna have people that even relative to you that betray you, that they try to copy you, they try to do bad thing to you. But at the end of the day, that's what you decide to do. That's your life, and you have to go through that through all that process.
Ivan, a lot of people, including myself, that are starting an entrepreneurial journey, we see that we're putting in a lot of work. We put in the hours, we talk to everybody, we make the phone calls, we try to sell. And we keep seeing that the curve doesn't go up as much as we want it to go up.
It will.
And that's the hope that I'm trying to get from you, because I get goosebumps just by sharing this with you. But you had one office that was in very bad shape. You start working, your wife working with you in the office and the kids and everything else. And now fast forward and you're looking at over 3,000 employees, over 250 offices. At what point does the curve go steep up in your case? And what can that teach me?
There's no way that you are working the way that you are working and the way that you present yourself and the way that you are with your relative, with your friends and with your customers, that you're going to be in bad shape if you still doing that. Of course, you are building a true business. When you are building a true business, you are going to go through all that. The business that is not struggling at the beginning, is a fake business. And we are full in this city, about the fake business. People that they see success the other way. It doesn't matter. They don't care where the money comes from, to who they have to screw, to who they have to lie, to who they have to betray. And they think that the result of that is money for yesterday. Money is coming in for yesterday. That's not a true business. So when you are building something, you're going to go through all that you are seeing right now. A lot of when you try to call somebody, it's going to tell you not. Let me tell you, right now, it's easy to lend me money. The banks, friends, everybody, hey, you need something, let me know. But when I was struggling, nobody was giving you nothing. No credit, no nothing. I had property paid that I went to the bank, and the banks laugh at me. A local bank here,
wow,
laugh at me. And it's not just the strolling as a normal business, but it's everything surround your business. When you start doing well, that you are creating a business, a legitimate business, everybody's going to say something against you. They are going to play with your reputation. They are going to say that you are doing something else. I don't know. I have more story out there than the Chapo Guzman, and the people that knows me from the beginning, since I came to this country, they know that everything is work, everything is honesty, and everything is doing the right thing at the right time. But the only thing that I can tell you, Alberto, is that sometimes you quit when the success is right there. So don't quit. Go ahead, get your objective. You have to be prepared for the three first years of my career as an insurance agent. We was struggling. We was losing money. But I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I knew that if I get there, we was gonna do good.
I thank you for saying that. For me and for so many people that are probably going through the same. When I look at you now, it seems like you never stop, because you don't. So I see Univista. You have created Univida, which is a chain of medical centers that is growing tremendously.
I'm very harder than Univista to create.
Harder than Univista.
Harder.
The medical centers have been harder than the insurance company.
100 times.
Then within Univista, you've had your own insurance company, not only a broker, but you also have your own insurance company. And now you have a holding for real estate, amongst God knows how many other things. Was there ever a point, or why has there never been a point where you say, Ivan, let's chill. Let's take it easy now. Why isn't that in you?
I was, this morning I was talking to a very good friend of mine about it. And, you know, I think that the way that I grew up with nothing, and every time you want to create something, you want to keep working for something else, and that's give you the ability of wake up every day with an illusion. You know, the illusion of leaving your family, not just with assets, but with dreams. With dreams, it's a way of living.
It's a way of living.
Yeah, it's a way of living that you create a project where it has your fingerprint, where you see a name or a logo, and you know that behind that logo is work ethic, honesty, hard work, and that's the way that I see life. You know, now it's even that the health business is hard. It's the hardest. It is not because the health business, it's because the people that are involved in that. You know, they are in the business for years, and they think that you cannot be success. They even bet that you're gonna fail on that. And you know what? We are doing a great structure. We are building a great name on the insurance, on the health business. The same thing that we do, everything that we do. And on the real estate, I'm so proud to have my kids with me. My daughter, they graduated in UM. I'm so proud of that. It works. It works. Even that it is hard. I think that we are in some entrepreneurship in the business where they are hard. None of them are easy, and they demand a lot of resources, a lot of investments. But at the end, having your family with you, your kids helping you, they are working, they are happy, even that they are so busy. I think it worth it. It worth it.
I see you, and I've known you for many, many years. And I've known you when we first met, that you were starting Univista. We ran into each other, and you used to listen to my radio show. And I'll never forget the first time I saw you and Anya.
Anya was, she's being a fan of you.
A fan of many years.
You know, was on the Bayside.
On Bayside, exactly. That's exactly where we ran into each other for the first time. I've seen you there. I've seen you many years after with Univista, and I've seen now the growth. I have also seen a lot of people that probably have a fraction of your success, and we're going to respect everybody has different ways of thinking, but a lot of people that have a fraction of your success that walk into this studio with 5 assistants, 3 security guards, and you have to call 5 people before you can get a hold of them, and you won't get a hold of them. And the way you live like a grounded person, where I can run into you ordering coffee at a little window. Everybody has your cell phone. What keeps you with your feet on the ground compared to so many people that have even less than you and believe this crazy life should be lived?
That happened, Alberto. That happened, and it's sad to see that. But I just can't speak by myself. For me, I cannot be different. The day that I want to be different is a day that I'm gonna fail. And even my attorneys, people. The other day, a guy told me you have to get a driver. You have to get somebody that I don't do bad to anybody. So I drive. I'm alone. I answer my phone every single day because another tip: if you are in sales, you have to answer the phone. Your money comes through the phone. So I answer the phone. It's an ethic word that I have that sometimes it's true that, listen, when I used to sell cars, I was a realtor at the same time sometimes. I was to Orlando with my kids, with my family, and they say, Papa, you are always on the phone. And I used to tell them, listen, that's why you can come to Orlando, to Disney World, because I'm on the phone. That's where the money came from.
So the balance that you have had over the years, when your kids were little, now your kids are older, do you feel good about the balance you have maintained, or is there any regrets in regards to how you have balanced your life up to now?
Listen, we cannot do anything with the past. I think that God give you just, a life to live the best way possible. But if I can go back, my first son, Johnny, those 4 years that I was selling cars, I couldn't see him. And Ivania, they are 2 years different in age. Those 2 years, I couldn't. That's why I left the car business. And I have the best relation with everybody, best friendship with everybody that I used to sell car with. And I learned. That's another university that I went through. The first one was in Havana, and then in the car business. And I think that that time that you took out of your family as a first immigrant generation is gonna, if you don't use that time to work, to do, to leave a legacy to your family, you are wasting your time. So I think that I use that time. That's a process that you have to go through. And today, my kids say, Papa, we know you was working. And they learn from that. I talk to my kids. I talk to them every single day. I try to live as much as possible or my experience in life. And I tell them, listen, I'm sorry for the time that I took from you when you was a kid, when you burned. And they tell me, Papa, we know you was working, and for sure, they understand that part.
So, if somebody's watching right now, because you've told me that one of your concerns is that everybody now wants to be an influencer, right? But if somebody had $0 in the bank account, and maybe they're 22, 24, 25 years old, $0 in the bank account and a phone, what would you do?
Apply
today?
For a sales position. Apply for a sales position. If you have no money, you have to create the basis first. You're not going to go to a bank and the bank is not going to give you money because you look good, because you are young, because you have some ideas, because everybody has ideas. And let me tell you, every single day I have somebody waiting on the lobby of my office with ideas. And they want me to back up their ideas with money. So that's easy. I never did that. I get the money, I put my money on risk, and then you can create something. But people that have no money, even they don't have the education, because the education in this country costs. Go apply for a sales position. That's the only recommendation that I can give you, because if you start in a corporate American in a base position, they are gonna rise you maybe 25, 50 cents a year or every review, and you seeing that that's a career, and that's not. That happened to me. I used to work for Miami-Dade County and for a hospital and for a bank, and everybody that was working there, they was happy because this is a career. They are gonna give you, for example, in Miami-Dade, they are gonna give you a retirement when you get to this age or so many years of working here. And it was hard for me to believe that was a career. So that's why I try to experiment in other places.
What is so far the best advice you have ever received from someone?
People, when they see you, they are going to give you two things, advice and old clothes when you get as an immigrant. And sometimes I try not to get into much of advice because everybody's going to live the life they want. But if people know the good of being good, they do that even as a business. Trying to be a good person for me is an honest person is going to give you the ability and the credibility that everybody wants to do business with you. And that's something that you earn that you cannot pretend to do that. You earn that.
How do you stay being good and doing good like you have when you have been betrayed? After betrayal, how do you keep trusting people?
That's a very good question. Sometimes it hurt. It hurt, and it hurt to the deepest of your human being. But it's not you. You never betray anybody. You're not gonna understand. You're not gonna believe what happened because sometimes it comes from the closest people, the people that you believe, the people that you want to help. Not even that you believe, people that you help. People that was depressed in a room and suddenly they, hey, help me please. And they buy your hand. But that's not you, that's them, that's what they choose. And let me tell you, I wake up every single day happy. I came here happy, even busy but happy. I don't know if those people that betray, those people that they don't do the thing the right way, and they believe in a fake success, they can wake up the way that I wake up every single day. That's you have to ask them, not that me. That's something that you have to. At the beginning, they take out your sleep. You sink in that, but at the end of the day, God is not going to give you a cross that you cannot hold on your back, and that's part of life. You don't know. You have no explanation why they do that. Why maybe they want protagonism. They need that, or they want to show the world that they can be the one that changed the world. But at the end, when they are alone, they knew that they did something very wrong. You know?
So it's interesting because instead of not trusting people in the future, you still trust people.
Oh, listen, that's something that I always talk to Luis and everything. Luis told me, no, everybody has to earn the 100 points with me. And I give people 100 points at the beginning. At the end, if they finish with 0, it's their problem, not mine. I believe you. I trust you. I gave you everything. But if you betray me and you do anything bad to me or my family or my business, it's your problem, it's not mine.
What can we tell someone that may be watching or listening right now who's going through his or her darkest moment? Sometimes maybe they can't get out of bed. Maybe they've realized that they've gone through illness. They've gone through financial situations. They can't find a job. They lose what they had.
Alberto,
what could you tell them so they can try to get out with your words out of that darkest moment?
You have to know how go through stress, to pressure. There was a time in my life where companies, not companies, people, agents in Miami and everything, they try to destroy my reputation, my business. And on top of that, the closest people that you have, they betray you. They start doing the wrong thing. They steal money from you. They did whatever they want. And that happened together, and you think that everything is against you. But that's a process that you have to go through to find greatness or to find success or to go through that at the end. It is like an anchor that you have with you, and suddenly you cut it, and then you go and fly.
So it's an anchor that you have, but there will be a moment if you keep fighting that the anchor will be cut And you will fly.
If everything is legit, it's a fair process, you're going to win at the end.
Ivan, let's imagine for a moment that it's 100 years from now, okay? And let's imagine that Google still exists, maybe it's ChatGPT, and somebody looks up the name Ivan Herrera 100 years from now. What would you like those top search results to say about you?
That I was a good father, and a good husband, and a good person. That's the only thing. Actually, I look in ChatGPT and reading about everything, but it doesn't say that. So that's another dream that I have.
Another dream that you have. Ivan, I'll wrap it up by saying this. You have within your companies, you have a company that's called Loyalty Insurance, which I have advertised and I have talked about many times to my audience. And I know that name comes from the importance that loyalty has to you. And last night, as I was preparing to speak with you, I was thinking about something that made me very emotional, because there's this perception that loyalty is something that one person who has the leverage, the success, the power, is something that person expects from everybody else. But when back in December of last year, I lost my job unexpectedly. A few days went by, you and I spoke. But I got a message Christmas morning, December 25th, 10 in the morning. And it was a message that said, I know something very hard just happened to you, but everything is going to be okay. Be grateful for what you have. And that message came from you. And it's a message that taught me that loyalty goes both ways. Yeah. That loyalty is something that should be held from every person to every other person. And the next thing you told me and your team told me was, wherever you go, we go. And this that I'm doing today, I'm doing thanks to the support of Univista Insurance and of you and your family and your team. So I wanted to bring this up because I know you would never bring it up. I know you would never say this in public, but
you know what? No,
but,
you know
what?
What
You did for me was so significant.
I forgot about it, and there's a lot of people that stop me. Ivan, you remember you did this, you did that. I forgot that very fast. I do that organically. I do that, and I think that's one of the reasons that life gives you back. Because if you are going to be out there trying to pretend, trying to betray, trying to do bad things to people, that's what life is going to send you back. When you do this thing, that's me, Alberto, and you are a special person for sure. Life is going to smile to you, and that's life. That's you don't even have to bring that to the table, because I do that. I'm like that. I cannot be different. Maybe it's the way that I grew up on the street. My parent was working. I was seeing people struggling, seeing with all kinds of people, and that's the way that I live.
But I wanted to say it because I think that a lot of your success has to do with that, with the little text message, with the phone call that you pick up.
People know me
any
when
time.
they are struggling. Maybe you invite me to have some drinks, or you invite me to a party, and I tell you not. But if you have a problem, I'm going to be there with you. Even I've been there for the people that betrayed me and did a lot of bad things. That's because I've been there for them.
Ivan, today you have given us a lot of hope to a lot of people. You have shown us that as long as it feels right, keep going. That's what I'm picking up from this conversation. And we've known each other a very long time, but I'm still learning from you. If you feel that it's the right thing, you keep going. If you love what you do, you're going to do well. And I'm also picking up the importance of sales. And if anybody's out there not knowing what they're going to do, I think the idea of taking a sales job can be life-changing, like it was life-changing for you. And on behalf of myself, on behalf of my family, and on behalf of the...
Don't do that.
No, but on behalf of the people whose lives you have changed by not feeling bad about them, but by giving them opportunities. I thank you, and I thank you on behalf of the one life we want to change through this conversation. And I only wish you health, happiness, blessings, and I also wish you that you get your message out there as often as possible, so more people not only are helped by you, but inspired by what you do every day. Thank you
Likewise
very much.
for you and your family and your project, and you know that you can count on us every time that you want. We are here for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alberto.